In cinematography, dynamic range is what lets a camera hold detail in the deepest shadows and the brightest highlights at the same time. My life right now is stretched across that same spectrum. One pole is Adrian, bright, blazing, broke as hell, and the other is the Blake family fortune, cold and polished like marble. I'm sitting in this upscale steakhouse on the Upper East Side, the kind of place where one cocktail costs what Adrian and I eat on for 3 days. Across from me are my parents. They drove down from Connecticut just to check in. "You still planning to submit that project, Ethan?" Dad asks, casually slicing into his rare steak. "I talked to Uncle Mark at the firm. They're still holding a summer associate spot for you. Don't waste time on cameras." "I'm not interning at a law firm, Dad," I say, keeping my voice level even though my chest feels like it's caving in. "I'm about to graduate film school." Mom sets her wine glass down, looking at me the way she'd look at a bad take. "Art doesn't pay the bills, sweetheart. Look at you, skinny, in that ratty old sweater. Where are you even living? Some basement in Brooklyn with an actor who's going nowhere." The disdain in her voice makes my skin crawl. In America, success gets measured in bank balances and zip codes. To them, Adrian's just a glitch in the perfect life script they wrote for me. I leave dinner early. I walk through that fine New York spring drizzle, feeling small and insignificant between the towering skyscrapers. When I get back to our shitty apartment, Adrian's on the floor surrounded by bills and my raw footage reels. He's trying to tape up a broken desk lamp. "How'd it go with the Royals?" he asks, trying for a joke, then stops when he sees my face. I don't answer. I just slide down the wall next to him, head back against the peeling paint. "They want me to quit. They called you a dead-end actor." He freezes. His hands, the ones holding the duct tape, tremble just a little. "Well, they're not wrong, are they? I'm behind on rent. And my biggest gig right now is a bug spray commercial that might never air." He laughs, but it's the most bitter sound I've ever heard from him. Reality settles over the room like damp air. Here, surrounded by cheap gear and the smell of instant ramen, my parents' words feel like facts. "No," I say, turning to grab his calloused hands. "They're wrong. Their dynamic range is so narrow they can't see what I see through the lens. They see broke. I see alive. They see unstable. I see brave." I pull him closer. In the dim yellow glow of our one working lamp, Adrian stops being the boyfriend or the actor. He's the only reason I don't want to turn into another cog at that law firm. "Listen," he whispers, pressing his cold palms to my cheeks. "If you're scared, I'll play the part for them. I can borrow a suit, memorize some stock market bullshit. I'll do whatever so they don't drag you away. You don't have to perform anymore, Adrian." I tell him, feeling for the first time stronger than my parents. "I'm gonna use your showreel to prove them wrong. We're making something so real they can't look away." That night we don't sleep. I fire up the computer and start recutting the scene of Adrian crying in the laundromat. No swelling soundtrack, just the hum of the dryers, the honks outside. He sits beside me, dozing on my shoulder now and then. Every time I glance over, I remind myself, my family can cut the money, but they can't cut the cord between me and this life. My dynamic range is maxed out now. There's the shadow of being broke, of being disowned. But there's also this blinding light of living honestly. And I get it. Sometimes you have to let in the noise to get a frame with soul. There's an unspoken rule in film. Gear always breaks when you're most desperate. 48 hours until the senior thesis deadline. I've been up 3 straight nights finishing the final cut of raw footage. My eyes are bloodshot. It feels like someone's sanding the insides of my sockets. Adrian's passed out under the edit desk, still clutching a roll of gaffer tape. I hit export. The progress bar creeps to 98%. My heart pounds with every percentage. Then a dry click from the external drive. The screen flashes blue. No fucking way. I whisper, yanking cables, plugging them back in. Drive not recognized. Please format. Everything. Hundreds of hours of footage. Every honest frame Adrian and I bled for, gone into a digital black hole. "Ethan? What happened?" Adrian jerks awake from the bang of my fist on the desk. It's fucked. I choke out, ice running down my spine. The drive crashed. It's all gone, Adrian. The whole project, gone. Silence swallows the room. In America, a dead drive on deadline day isn't just tech failure. It's the end of a year's worth of insane tuition. It's proof my parents were right. I'm a fuck-up. I drop my head to the desk. Fingers knotted in my hair. The technical genius act shatters. I can't logic my way out of this. Hey, look at me. Adrian kneels beside my chair, forcing my eyes to his. You're not done. I can't, Adrian. No time to rebuild from scratch. I lost everything. You didn't lose everything, he snaps fierce. You've still got the original cards in your bag, right? You've still got me. We've got 40 hours. That's 2,400 minutes. We're not making a perfect film anymore. We're making a survival film. But, no buts. You're Ethan Blake, the guy who sees light in a pitch-black basement. He hauls me up, pats my cheek lightly to snap me awake. I'll make coffee. I'll sit here and call out every cut. We're doing the rawest, realest edit. Fuck perfection. We start the death sprint. I plug in the source cards. No VFX. No fancy color grade. I cut on instinct, on the rhythm of Adrian's breathing I've memorized. He stays beside me, talking nonstop to keep me from crashing. That take, me crying in the laundromat, the shaky one. Yeah, that, don't brighten it. Leave it dark. By hour 30, I'm hallucinating. Frames dancing on the walls. Adrian starts singing Broadway show tunes to fight the thick air of sweat and overheating electronics. He does every part. Clown, king, anything to keep me upright. For the first time, I don't care about noise in the shot or framing that's off by a few millimeters. I only care about keeping Adrian's breath in every frame. 4 a.m. on submission day. I hit export again. This time, the bar hits 100% clean. I watch the final thing. Rough, shaky, full of mistakes I used to call trash. But when I play it back, I'm crying. It's not a film. It's us. We did it, Adrian murmurs, head on my shoulder, breath hot and exhausted. I take his hand, stained with marker and cigarette ash. We didn't just make the film. We didn't let this city, or this goddamn computer, crush us. We step out as the sun rises over the buildings. Gray morning, but hopeful. I hold the USB with my whole future on it. It feels heavier than any camera I've ever lifted. I was wrong about perfection. It's not the absence of flaws. It's how you stand up from the wreckage. The school theater smells like cheap popcorn and student panic. Final cut screening. Adrian and I sit in the back row. His hand grips mine, palm slick. When raw footage Ethan Blake hits the screen, I feel naked in front of the whole department. Our survival edit starts. It shakes, it's noisy, whole sections go soft. But when Adrian's face appears under the laundromat fluorescence, the room goes dead quiet. The roughness makes the emotion cut deeper. People stop seeing technique. They see a man fighting to survive New York. Lights up. No instant applause. Just a long beat before Professor Parker stands. Ethan, he says, voice low. I used to think you were a soulless camera. Today you proved me wrong. You didn't just shoot film, you let life wreck your frames. That's real art. Adrian squeezes my hand so hard it hurts. A small sob escapes him. We won. Perfect score. But in America, success always costs something. Right after, a middle-aged guy in an expensive suit walks up. CAA rep, one of Hollywood's top agencies. You're Rivera, right? He ignores me, eyes locked on Adrian like he just found gold. I saw your showreel woven into Ethan's piece. You've got the energy we're hunting for a new indie out in LA. Here's my card. Adrian freezes, staring at the card like it's a winning lottery ticket. And me? I ask, trying to sound steady. The guy glances over, professional and cool. Your technique's solid, Ethan. Lots of potential. But LA's actor town. If you want DP work, I can get you an AC gig on a commercial in New York. Adrian, though, he needs to be in LA. Next month. The high evaporates. New spectrum. East Coast versus West Coast. New York versus Los Angeles. 3,000 miles. We walk to Washington Square Park. Street musicians. Laughing students, but between us, silence like a void. You're going, aren't you? I ask, watching squirrels chase across the grass. Ethan, this is the break I've been killing myself for. He says, voice thick. You know it. The debt, the failed auditions, the soul-crushing side jobs. It was all for this. I know, I say. A petty jealousy flares. Then dies under how much I love him. You have to go. You were born for those lights. What about us? He stops, turns me to face him. You were right, art is truth. And the truth is I love you more than that fucking card. But in this country, if we don't grab the shot, crushes us. I look at his face, the one that helped me find myself. I realize this is the last blind spot. I taught him how to stop acting. Now he's teaching me the hardest truth. Sometimes love means stepping out of the frame so the other person can shine on a bigger stage. We're not breaking up, I say, even though the words feel thin as old film stock. We're just two different cuts running in two different cities. He pulls me into a hug in the middle of the crowded park. Under the late afternoon New York gold, I don't reach for a camera. I just stand there, burning the warmth of him into the only memory no drive can erase. We survived graduation. The real test of love just started. In painting and photography, negative space is the empty area around the subject. Sometimes that emptiness is what defines the shape. These last days with Adrian in New York, they're that negative space. The Brooklyn apartment is just a husk now. All the tangled cables, the clamp lights, Adrian's scattered scripts, they're packed into cardboard boxes sealed with layers of duct tape like battle scars. You think they sell that shitty cart coffee in LA? Adrian asks, trying to wedge the old camera I gave him between folded t-shirts in his suitcase. They've only got green juice and blindingly white teeth out there. I say, aiming for sarcasm, but my voice cracks and comes out small hollow. We spend our last night on the roof of the building. New York at night looks like a giant circuit board, millions of twinkling points of light. For the first time in 4 years, I don't want to shoot it. I don't want to frame anything anymore. Ethan, Adrian says, resting his head on my shoulder. Remember that day in the laundromat? You told me you were scared reality wouldn't look as good through the lens. I remember. Are you still scared? I stay quiet for a long beat, staring at my empty hands, no camera, no viewfinder. I'm scared of the emptiness, but I'm not scared of the truth anymore. The truth is you're leaving, and I have to learn how to shoot without my best key light. It's not pretty, but it's real. He turns, cups my face with warm palms. I'll call you every day. I'll FaceTime until you're sick of my face on your screen. I'll send you raw clips of LA, and you'll have to color grade them. Got it. I smile, but it tastes bitter in my throat. In America, we'll stay in touch is usually the polite start of a slow fade. But looking into Adrian's steady eyes, I want to believe we're the exception to the rule. Next morning, JFK Terminal 4. Crowded, loud, full of rushed goodbyes. Adrian stands in front of security, heavy roller suitcase at his side, boarding pass to Los Angeles in his hand. He doesn't perform. No dramatic movie star embrace. No rehearsed lines. He just stands there, looking at me with the most stripped-down gaze I've ever seen from him. Don't turn the camera off, Ethan, he whispers. Even when I'm not in the frame anymore, keep rolling. The world needs your eye. I pull something small from my jacket pocket, the warm filter I used the very first time I shot him. Take this. Whenever LA feels too bleached and fake, look through it. So you remember there's a cinematographer back in New York who's always saving the best frame for you. He takes it, eyes red-rimmed but refusing to spill over. Then he turns and walks away. I stand there in the dull river of airport strangers, watching his silhouette shrink and disappear behind the security doors. On instinct, I raise my hands, thumbs and forefingers forming a rectangle, a makeshift viewfinder. The frame is empty now, just negative space, vast, aching white. I walk out of the terminal, breathe in the jet fuel stink and the restless New York air. I realize I just finished a 4-year feature. Time to start a new project. One with no script, no lighting plan, but enough guts to hit record anyway. Adrian's gone. But the ghost of him rewired how I see light forever. I'm not a soulless rig anymore. I'm Ethan Blake, and I'm finally ready to shoot the empty spaces in my own life. 1 year later, Park City, Utah. Sundance Film Festival. The cold here is different from New York's damp, bite, dry, razor sharp, turning every exhale into visible smoke like a black and white film. I'm standing outside the Egyptian Theater, gripping my old Leica, the wool scarf Adrian left behind still looped around my neck. This past year I kept my promise. No ramen commercials, no wedding gigs. I PA'd on lights, shot short docs about Brooklyn's hidden corners. I learned patience with shadows. Today I'm here for the world premiere of Adrian's first lead in an indie feature. The crowd buzzes when a black SUV pulls up to the red carpet. Adrian steps out. No more ripped denim or cheap silver spacesuit costume. He's in a tailored suit, hair slicked back, looking so polished and luminous it actually hurts to watch. He moves through the flashbulbs like he belongs there. I stay back in the crowd, quietly lifting the Leica. Through the 35mm, I see that same radiant smile, but his eyes, I know that look. They're scanning the sea of faces for something specific. When our eyes lock through the lens, he falters for half a second. He doesn't wave, doesn't pose. He just holds still while dozens of other cameras fire at him. But his focus is locked on one person only, me. After the screening, I find him on the back balcony, away from the noisy after-party. He's staring out at the snow-covered Wasatch Range, still holding the warm filter I gave him at JFK. You kept it, I say, stepping closer. He turns. Under moonlight and the spill from the theater doors, his face looks sharper, more resolved than any memory I have. No more exhaustion from all-night laundromat shoots. No more fragile acting student mask. He's real in a way that aches. It helps me see LA. The way you do, he says, smiling, voice lower and warmer than before. Even if I still miss that shitty gray-green of New York sometimes. He closes the distance. Did you see the film? How was I? You were terrible, I say, letting the smile I've been hiding for a year finally break through. Because I could still see you behind the character. I could still see the guy who split dollar pizza with me. He laughs. Real, unguarded. Then pulls me into a hard hug. That familiar citrus and skin scent hits me like muscle memory. The director just got offered a big project, he murmurs against my ear. He's looking for a DP with a brutal eye who can strip things down to the truth. I showed him raw footage. I pull back, searching his hopeful eyes. And he said, that cinematographer's insane for letting it stay that soft and noisy, but I want to meet him. Adrian winks. We're shooting in New Mexico. Lots of natural light, lots of empty space. Just your kind of thing. I glance down at the camera around my neck, then back at him. For a year we lived in each other's negative space, surviving on glitchy calls, time zone loneliness. But standing here now, I realize the crashes, the lost drives, the miles apart were just recalibrating our focus. So, we're back in the same frame? Ask. Not just one frame, he says, lacing our fingers together. We're making a whole series now, Ethan. And this time I promise I won't fuck up your white balance. I lift the Leica, snap one last shot. Not for art. Not for the real, just to mark a beginning. Behind us, party music drifts out. Park City glows under fresh snow. But in my frame right now, there's only one thing worth capturing. Us. No makeup, no performance, completely real.